Wow then. It looks like we got some sanctioning body beef going down once again. But this time, not involving Zuffa Boxing, Dana White, or any Zuffa fighter. This time we got some sanctioning body beef in between them themselves. The WBO and the WBA threatening to not sanction the fight between Zurdo Ramirez, who is the unified WBO, WBA cruiserweight champion of the world, giving David Benavidez a shot at his world titles. The WBO and the WBA said, wait just a minute. We seen that Mexico City press conference with the WBC basically throwing it, handing out a new belt, a special belt, the Tolan Tequila, whatever. A special bout that will be given to the winner. Celebrating Cinco de Mayo weekend, the fight's on May 2nd. Celebrating Mexican heritage. That whole press conference that they had, all you seen was the WBC letters. You see Mauricio Sullivan give David Benavidez, his son, his own little world title. Gave him a shirt to wear that said WBC. Was promoting the WBC when they aren't even involved in this fight. The WBO and the WBA are threatening of sanctioning this fight because the WBC wants to stick their head in it. David Benavidez is the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world. Light heavyweight, not cruiserweight. This fight is at the cruiserweight division. It has nothing to do with the WBC. Just like when Shakur Stevenson fought Teofimo Lopez. The WBC had nothing to do with the fight. And still trying to charge $120,000 to Shakur Stevenson. And is charging David Benavidez to even have this fight. And now it's trying to stick their nose in between the WBO and WBA. Because to me, watching that press conference, it seemed like this is a goddamn WBC event. I bet you they were like, yo, what the how the hell is Sullivan going to be doing that? He's taking our shine. The WBC, Mauricio Sullivan, once again, sticking his nose where it's not supposed to be. And now the WBA and the WBO are threatening to pull them from sanctioning this fight. If the WBC does not get rid of that bout that they created, another $60,000 bout that they built for a one-time fight, and nobody can fight for that bout. The winner of this gets in, that's it. Puts it in his goddamn locker, and that's it. Has absolutely no meaning whatsoever. They're just creating these bouts, these special bouts with special diamonds, special leather, special everything. For what? Why would the WBC do that? Why would they involve themselves like this? To steal the shine. To steal the shine, man. That's as simple as it gets. And the WBO and WBA said, hell nah. It ain't just a battle between Zuffa Boxing and Dana White, but a battle within themselves. Before Zuffa and all that even came, we had a lot of problems, man. And now you see the WBC causing problems with other sanctioning bodies. It ain't just a war on sanctioning bodies versus Zuffa Boxing. This is a war between all the sanctioning bodies. Jealousy getting in the way of what the sport truly is. This fight should have nothing to do with the WBC title. But yet they can't figure out a way how to just step out of the limelight. They got to put their nose in. They got to step in there. Absolutely ridiculous, man. And this is what I'm talking about. Let's see if this actually happens. If the WBO and the WBA actually enforces this. But one thing I do know is if they're being real, Mauricio Sullivan and the WBC cannot display that bout at the fight, man. I'm telling you guys right now, the WBC creating this bout has driven the WBO and WBA to say, you, bro, you always try to do this to us. We just seen the IBF get booty tickled because Jaya Pataya wasn't representing the IBF bout properly, even though he brought it to the press conference, even though he followed all the rules, even though he held it at the weigh-in, even though he held it after he won the Super Cruiserweight Championship bout. Showing respect. At least they did that. The WBC is getting up and making press conferences all about him, focusing all the energy on the WBC, creating bouts. And the IBF is getting booty tickled because of that? Imagine how the WBO and the WBA feel, man. It's the biggest problem in the sport of boxing in the first place, that the sanctioning bodies have this type of power. That because the WBCO created this bout and Mauricio Silliman is, sponsoring themselves like this, that the WBA and the WBAO have the power to unsanction this fight because of jealousy. And there's nothing wrong with these sanctioning bodies. Come on, man. The sport shouldn't be about, representing this organization more than the other organization. The sport should be about the fighters. It should be about the fighters. And you shouldn't be able to unsanction a fight and strip a fight just because your feelings were hurt. I understand the WBC is completely in the wrong here. And if I was the WBO and the WBA, I would be pissed as well. But the fact that this is even a conversation, wild, man. The WBO, WBA are threatening to unsanction Zurdo Ramirez versus David Benavidez on May 2nd, celebrating Cinco de Mayo, if the WBC does not remove their bout, man. Absolutely breaking news. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel reporting to you. Subscribe to the channel. Help support it. Help make it grow. And I'm out, family.